The Chief of Defence Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, and the 3 other service chiefs on Thursday assumed duty at the headquarters of their respective service in Abuja. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are our top 10 stories countdown today. At number 10. Tanzania was under a communications blackout on Thursday, a day after elections turned into violent chaos, with unconfirmed reports of many dead. President Samia Suluhu Hassan had sought to solidify her position and silence criticism within her party in the virtually uncontested polls, with the main challengers either jailed or barred from standing. At number 9. Moroccan capital Rabat will host the 2026 African World Cup qualifying playoffs involving Cameroon, Democratic of Congo, Gabon, and Nigeria. The Confederation of African Football confirmed on Wednesday Nigeria faced Gabon in the first semi-final on November 13th in a match upset to feature 2 star strikers, Turkey-based Victor Osimhen and Pierre-Emerick of Marseille. At number 8. Military investigation into the alleged coup plot has reportedly uncovered a trail of 45 billion naira disbursed from the bank account of the Niger Delta Development Commission to some politically exposed persons and the soldiers detained in connection with the rumored conspiracy to topple President Bola Tinubu's administration. The military, in a statement by the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, denied the reports linking the detention of the 16 military officers to a failed coup. At number 7. Troops of 6th Brigade Nigerian Army Sector 3 Operation Welsh Stroke on Wednesday rescued a kidnapped victim, Ali Adamu, in Lau local government area of Taraba State. The rescue operation follows a distress call received by troops deployed in Lau, reporting the abduction of Adamu, who was kidnapped while sleeping outside his compound. Acting swiftly on the information, the troops mobilized and launched a hot pursuit of the kidnappers. On realizing the troops were closing in, the criminals abandoned the victim and fled into nearby bushes. At number 6. The federal government said it has released about 2.3 billion naira to pay arrears and backlogs of the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) and other university-based unions. A statement signed by the Director, Press and Public Relations, Ministry of Education, Folashade Buriowo, on Wednesday said the funds was released through the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. In addition, funds have been released under the needs assessment of Nigerian universities, with corresponding budgetary provisions made to sustain the initiative. At number 5. 6 opposition members of the House of Representatives have defected to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). They include 5 lawmakers from Enugu State, whose defection was witnessed by Governor Peter Mba at the Green Chamber. The defectors are Obeta Chidi, Anayo Onuegbu, Dennis Agbo, Martins George, Nanje Noalem, and Daniel Asama from Plateau State, who moved from the Labour Party. The Enugu lawmakers' defection came 2 weeks after Governor Mba dumped the PDP for the APC. At number 4. A fire incident occurred at the Jabi Lake Mall, Abuja, in the early hours of Thursday. The cause of the fire, which started around 3 a.m., could not be ascertained as of the time of filing this report. Our correspondents gathered that only the Adidas sports shop was affected. It was further gathered that firefighters from the Federal Fire Service, the Berger Fire Department, and the FCT Fire Service, as well as police officers, were deployed to the scene. At number 3. The Senate has confirmed Bernard Doro as a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, following a brief screening session that lasted less than 30 minutes. Doro, who becomes the 3rd ministerial nominee from Plateau State, used the opportunity to outline his vision for fostering an inclusive humanitarian ecosystem in the country. He promised to create a humanitarian ecosystem that is inclusive, guided by impartiality and independence. At number 2. At least 6 people, including a policeman, have died in an accident on the Kara Bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Channels Television gathered that the accident, which occurred on Wednesday night, involved some trucks, including a fuel tanker, that collided on the bridge. It was learned that one of the deceased, said to be an occupant of one of the trucks, was burnt beyond recognition. At number 1. The Chief of Defence Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, and the 3 other service chiefs on Thursday assumed duty at the headquarters of their respective service in Abuja, with a promise to sustain the ongoing fight against terrorism, banditry, and other forms of criminality in the country. The 4 service chiefs were on Wednesday unanimously confirmed by the National Assembly. In his farewell address, the immediate past CDS General Christopher Musa urged the officers and the personnel of the Armed Forces of Nigeria to cooperate with the incoming CDS General Oluyede say in the national interest. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.